contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing tonight? It is Saturday night. Feel all right? Let's build a printer. How's everyone doing today? Today is part 4 of the Toasty Boy build, the Voron V1.8 printer. Tonight's goal, we're hoping to get all the structural components of this printer done. So we got to finish up the tool head. Got to build a place to put the electronics in the back here. We got to put a backpack on it. We're going to skip putting the bed on for now, and I'll get to that later. But hopefully, we're going to get everything wrapped up to the point where we can go ahead next week and start wiring this guy up. We are going to have to build a wire loom from scratch. I'll get more into that later. So, right at the top of the hour, I do want to give a shout out to our stream sponsor. You know them, I know them. They've been supporting the channel for a while now. Fangs.com. I have a link in the description below. Mother's Day is coming up. I believe it's next weekend. Some people forget about this. Don't forget about your mama. If you go to Fangs, there's a nice little collection of prints by Chaos Core Tech that are Mother's Day themed. This one right here, a nice little Mother's Day statue that I printed on the switch wire in some multicolor silk PLA. And then this little birdie here that unfortunately the beak broke off. This one is not the most FDM friendly, but it is possible. So almost got it. Almost got it. I tried it actually twice. That little beak. There's so little support there. But I got pretty close. Close enough. But yeah, so shout out to Fangs.com for sponsoring the stream tonight. Great growing community of 3D models. So make sure you go to Fangs, create an account, sign up, share some Fangs, download some Fangs on Fangs. Microphone sounds a tad hollow. I don't know. Properties. Let me check my settings. No, it should be the same. Sounds hollow and echoey. It should be normal. Should be normal. Let me see here. Oh, properties. No, I have voice meter. That is the right mic. Why aren't you working right? Let me try turning the filter off. Okay, does that sound a little bit better? Does that sound a bit better? Talking into the lav. Is it the lav? Should be the lav. Oh, that'll do it. 1 second here. Testing. Testing, 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 testing. Hello, hello, hello. Why isn't it the lav? It's not the lav. Why isn't it the lav? Oh. Okay. Voice meter. What are you going on here, voice meter? Let me fix this. Okay. Mic in. Okay, what the heck is going on here? Properties, voice meter. Voice meter, okay. I only have the one hardware input. Testing, testing. Does that seem better there? I think that's it. I think that's it. There we go. Are we better there? Are we better there? I think we're okay. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. When I did the video earlier this week with the spider board, I took my lav and I had it plugged into my phone to record the audio for that. And when it must have defaulted back, it must have, because I use voice meter to handle the audio fixing and whatnot. So it must have jumped back or something like that. But we're good there. We're good there. I missed something. Somebody donated something. I need to give you a shout out. Mike 3DP, thank you for coming a member. Thiago 3742. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Double T in the area. Yes, whatever that means. There we go. Okay, let's get some music going. Why not build the 2.4? It's the latest one. No, it is not. The latest Legacy is the latest Voron. The V012 is the name. It is not the version. The V2.4 is actually the oldest Voron right now, I believe. Well, technically the V2.4 and the 1.8 are the same day. V0 is now on the 0.1 revision. Legacy is from last fall, and Switchwire is from last summer. So this is actually the oldest revision right now. So yes, this is a Voron 1.8. It's like a BMW, right? A 5 series isn't newer than a 3 series. They're different series. So a V1 is a Voron 1. A V2 is a Voron 2. It's not version 2. Okay. Yes, we got some synthwave. Let's get some synthwave going. And I think my mic's peaking a bit. Well, let me just drop that down a little bit there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so Blue Bull 96. Thank you for coming a member. So where were we at? Okay. We are continuing on. By the way, some stuff came in this week. This is for later in the year project. But just to give you a little bit of comparison on what we're working with here. What's coming down the pipeline, okay? So, tooth. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Hefty, hefty, hefty. Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. Hefty, hefty, hefty. Avro stuff's coming in. Also got some big old chunky 3M pouch belts. So that is for the CNC. That is still months off. Still got a while on that guy, but stuff is showing up. Who else became a member? Who else became a member? Grant for the Greek, thank you for becoming a member. There we go. Okay. Use that ball screw. That ball screw would not actually be for what we're using. It's too fast of a pitch and it's too big. So, where we left off, we got the belts in. I knocked my water over. We got the belts in. We are currently tool headless, so there's obviously, there ain't no printy part on here. So, let's put the printy part on. So that's the afterburner tool head there. We are going to be doing it a little bit different from spec because we're using an LGX. So the first thing we're going to do is build our tool cartridge. Yeah, that 20 tooth is covered in dog hair. It is done. It is gone. It is given up to the elder gods of the floor. So, tool head, hot end. Hey, hot subject, hot take. I'm still using a sliced mosquito. So this is a sliced mosquito This is the first revision of it. It's probably 2.5 years old now. I have 2 of these. I might as well use it, okay? I don't have another dragon on hand or anything like that to use. I know there's a whole bunch of drama going on right now with Slice and their whole locking down the patents on something I don't agree with, but it's their right to do so. I didn't think it would stand in court. Fadus is going to fight it. We'll see what happens. But until then, we're going to be going with the Mosquito because I have it. And on top of it, it's still a good hot end. Like, it's not a bad hot end. So we're going to keep using it. M316s. When's the feral sorting stream? I don't know. They're still on the ground. I still got to pick them up. Yes, with an LGX. Is the Mosquito worse than the Dragon? Here's the thing. Functionally, in my opinion, they're both exactly the same. Okay? They are both bimetallic heat breaks with non-rigid or non-structural heater blocks or heat breaks. So, in my use case, using both of them, they function exactly the same. And literally, I can't tell you which prints come off printers with them and which ones come off printers without them. I can't find my Allen keys. They're over here. So, they're the same. The thing is, the Dragon you can get for half the cost. You don't have to deal with the boron nitride thermal paste. And I like the layout of it better. I prefer the E3D V6 form factor, part support. Like, it's pretty much a V6 heater block with some extra holes in it. So I like if they were exactly the same price, I would buy a Dragon over a Mosquito. Okay. But I have 2 Mosquitoes, so I might as well use them. So, do you need thermal paste and boron nitride paste with the Mosquito? You need the boron nitride paste because that's the only thing that really keeps your heater block in place. Because your heater block sits in a where are my M2.5s? M2. I know I have M2.5 somewhere. M2.5s, where are you? Your heater block, literally just, there is no compression in the heater block on a Mosquito. So it's not like a V6 where you can compress it in. It literally, I don't know where my M2.5 screws are. Are these them? No. It literally just sits in the hole and then you have to basically glue it into position. I don't like that. They say it's for better thermal transfer. I don't think it's worth it on a hobby level toolhead for a 3D printer. I can't find my M2.5 screws. Carlos, thank you for becoming a member. Has anyone confirmed D-Force is Triangle Labs? So just so you guys know, Triangle Labs is a storefront. They don't make anything. There's a company called Runis. They are actually the OEM for Triangle Labs and Fadus. They're the ones that actually make the hot ends. Triangle Labs is just a storefront on AliExpress. Yes, they put their brand name on it, but they don't actually, as far as I know, make them. I had a whole bucket of M2.5 screws, and I don't know where the heck they went. Shoes. Oh, is this it? M2.5. There we go. Found them. But yeah, D-Force is basically another storefront for Triangle Labs, as far as I remember. But yeah, it's super funny how they're trying to get around it. They're basically selling the hot end without the, because it's not the bimetallic heat break that's the issue. It's the issue with the patent is the fact that the heater block is the heat break is non-structural. So how they're getting around that is they're basically selling it without the support, and then giving the option to buy a wind chime. If it works, it works. Yeah. Like, honestly, to be honest, in terms of like print quality on most printers, your hot end, as long as it's a good hot end, you're not going to notice any difference. Like, even a V6, and you know, a legit E3D V6, or any of the good other ones, you're going to get good prints out of it. Like, I just like the rigid mounting and the non-structural heat break. Okay, that is that. Oh, also, Slice, if for some whatever reason you're still watching this, how come you guys don't have socks for your heaters? I have to go on AliExpress and buy socks for the Mosquito because for some whatever reason, you guys don't sell socks for your hot end. Now, I know you say, oh, we have like some magical coating, so we don't have to worry about that. But the problem is, the sock is there for two reasons. One, it keeps stuff from building up on there. And two, if you happen to have a giant blob of gunk on your hot end, there's a good chance it'll stick to the sock and save your hot end from getting completely encapsulated in molten plastic. So, come on guys. Sell socks with your hot end. It also helps a lot with if you run with fans. There we go. Compwiser, $10. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for, scroll up. Thanks for the amazing content. Been watching in a couple weeks now. Where are the STL files available for the LGX adapter to the Afterburner? They are on the Voron Discord. Go to the user or Voron user mods channel. It's pinned in there. So. Now, for heater cartridges in this, I'm going to have to... I'm not setting it up now because I'm not dealing with all the thermal paste gunk. But I am going to be swapping out the heater cartridge I got in here right now. The heater cartridge is going to stay. It's a 50-watt heater cartridge. I'm going to stick with that. But the thermistor that I have in here right now, I'm going to be replacing with a PT100. But for now, I'm going to leave it as is. Simply because it's a Slice Mosquito and I don't feel like waiting 24 hours for the paste to harden on stream. I have 2 unused Fetus Dragons. Voron themed Dragon heat sinks. Oh. Part cooling misalignment can be a huge safety issue with the sock too. Yeah. They said it was expensive in US to make a sock. E3D does it in the UK just fine. And as a tool maker, as somebody who builds plastic injection molds for a living, that's straight up BS. "24-hour stream watching paste hardening." Hey, if you guys watch it, paste drying stream. Upgrading from paint drying, we're going to do a paste drying stream for charity one day. Okay. So we got our little tool head assembled here. Yeah, not much there. Okay, so this is basically what we did. There's different mounts. V6 The dragonfly, the dragon, and the mosquito are the supported ones. Cup-wise, they're $5. Awesome. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Keep up watching my stuff. Appreciate it, man. PTFE tube. So I'm going to have to get a piece of PTFE here. And I think it sticks out, what, 10 millimeters above the surface of the printed part. So I have some PTFE somewhere. I really need to clean my room. PTFE. I know I have some somewhere, because I used it earlier on, hey, we'll use blue. I got blue PTFE here. That'll work. Now, whenever I do PTFE, I usually shave it into a point, sort of, like, so it sits more flat, because usually there's radiuses. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of trim the edge off, just to try and ensure that it's sitting flat on the bottom and there's no gap. If you have a pencil sharpener, it works really good at that. Now, depending on your printed part tolerances, you may have to loosen these screws to get it down. And then it's 10 centimeters up that you want to trim it. Somebody who has done medium scale silicone molds, that's whole BS, and there's no chance that they're at the output where they wouldn't spend money on development of a special setup for them. It's not. Like, you can buy, you can get molds made in China dirt cheap. For making a silicone sock, you don't need, you know, medical grade tooling. I mean, heck, the silicone sock that I ran in here for almost 2 years straight, it literally finally fell off about a month ago, was one I made on a plastic mold that I printed. Like, I have a video on my channel making a silicone sock for the mosquito because they don't sell them. So I made my own. Like, I printed the mold and made one out of RTV gasket sealant. It's flexible, so you can make the tool much simpler because you don't have to worry about undercuts and draft angles. Like, you don't have to take as much, you don't have to worry too much about design as much. There we go. Eddie's here. Hi, Eddie. Can we discuss SOS of 3D printing, rep wrap, the ramification of open source? Oh, God. Somebody follows my Twitter. If you're not following my Twitter, at 3DP Nero, follow me on Twitter. Need more zip ties. I think I'm out of zip ties. Yeah, I'm running low on zip ties. Come on, little zip ties. I might have a few left. Ooh, I do not. Oh no. Oh well. Worry about it later. Could have sworn I had more. It's the problem when you build printers like one after the other. You start thinking you have more stock of certain things than you do. So it's like, oh yeah, I've got plenty of that, but you've built 3 printers without restocking. Oh, actually I don't have plenty of that anymore. Is a Mosquito Magnum higher outflow than a Dragon high flow? They're about the same, I think. Okay, so there we go. PTFE tube sticks out, and then we mount it to the tool head. Oh, that doesn't work. Jody Woo, €25. Voron for the win. Thank you. Appreciate that. Twitter is evil. All social medias are evil. I find Twitter, honestly, as long as you follow non-drama, you don't really see much on it, and it's not that bad. Like, I only follow, like, 80 people, and it's pretty much everyone just 3D printing people and a few tech people and like NASA. There's tons of NASA on the, or tons of drama on the NASA Twitter page. All the space drama. Okay. So there we go. Go to lube cam. So unfortunately this ain't a V2, so I can't move the gantry down. But for attaching this, it's relatively straightforward. You should have these extra bit of belt there. Never cut these belts flush, because when you go to, if you ever do maintenance on it and you need to take the belts off and put them back on, you're gonna have a bad time. So you should be able to fold them in, and then that slides up and should lock into place. And that's that. And then I believe it is M340s hold it in place. I think the Dragonfly HIC has the highest output at the moment. Slice's Super Duper Mosquito Magnum, whatever the heck that giant thing is, apparently they claim more, but they're also claiming that printing ABS at like 300 Celsius, which you're carbonizing is the proper word. I think it's carbonizing. You're basically burning the ABS at that temperature. ABS at 300 C is not good for ABS. You will literally burn it. Any word on the resin printer? It should be here. It's in transit. It should be here this week. So going back to what I said at the beginning of the stream there, hopefully if all goes well, next week's Saturday stream won't actually be a lot of, I'm going to try and do two things at once. I'm going to do, make sure that's all sitting right. Yep, that's good. Okay. What we're going to do, hopefully if it shows up, next week's stream will be a twofer. We're going to do the resin printer and making a wiring loom for this. Because honestly, making a wiring loom is boring as hell. It's just a lot of crimping and cutting. So the plan is if it shows up, I'll start the stream with unboxing the resin printer and getting it going. Because resin printers come pretty much assembled out of the box. And then it's basically like level the bed, which is really easy on the Anycubic Photon 2K. Photon Mono 2K. We'll get that printing, and then while it's printing something, we'll set up, I'll do my wiring. So that should be the plan for next week. So, oh, and I got more resin. I got two resins. I got the Anycubic Translucent Green. I'll probably use that. What I'm thinking, I'll grab it later in a second. But I also got this, some Soraya Tech fast gray. And mute the music for a second. I think this one sounds better. Yeah, that one's got a little bit more ASMR to it. I don't know. But anyways, what I'm going to do on the resin printer, it's not a big one. It's like medium size for a resin, I guess. Years ago, I printed this guy, Alduin. As you can see, he's missing most of him. No, it wasn't the Dragonborn. It was my toddler son knocking him off the table. So his wings are busted, but he used to have like a wingspan out to here. And this was all actually multiple pieces. And this was printed in ABS. So for anyone that tells you can't print good things in ABS, they don't know what they're doing. But this was printed in ABS. So what I'm going to do is try and make another Alduin out of the translucent green. So that will probably be the first like big project I do on the resin. So yes, my son is now Dovahkiin. He's good at shouting. So yeah. Okay, so we got that. So that is in. Now, the next part of here is see all this stuff about the afterburner. We're not having an afterburner. We are going with the LGX. So we can pretty much skip the majority of that. So let me grab my LGX. Can I run Clipper on a Voron with just a Pi and ramps? Yes. Yes, you can. So this right here is my Bondtech LGX. This is fresh out of the box. I'm realizing I forgot to print the drag chain mount for this, so I'm going to have to print the drag chain mount for this. So I'll do that later. Obviously, I'm not going to do it on stream. But it's not that hard to adapt these to fit in the Afterburner Toolhead. So they come with this little plate at the bottom here. Now with this plate, the default mounting option is with the Mosquito. So you can actually mount a Mosquito directly to this. But for you guys who know, I'm not a super huge fan of direct mounting. This option I actually like better than setups like the BQH2. Simply for you're not completely tied to one ecosystem. You can swap stuff out. And as you guys remember, this thing is not that reliable. So I could run this in a Bowden. We're not going to run it in a Bowden. I've gone ahead and printed off this guy. So this, hopefully it fits. I haven't actually checked it yet. Oh, perfect. Oh, it snaps in so good. Wait, let me get the mute the music. Oh. Okay, it only made the snap noise once. But anyways, it fits perfect. So this literally drops in there. You take the two screws that were in there before. You put them back in. And you screw them back in. And that is that. Now this can literally drop in exactly the same as the Afterburner Toolhead. And this is what I'm running in Tallboy right now, which will be going into V226. Now there's two screws on the bottom here. I think these are 16 mils, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, they're 20 mils. Wow, I'm really running low on some of these screw types. Let's take a look. You only get the snap once. A4988s. Okay. Yes. So the original, the V2, the V2.1, and were spec'd to run with A4988s. So A4988s are just fine. As long as you're with ramps, you're actually fine. If you go to a 32-bit board, you actually start to run issues with A4988s because of the voltage. You can't actually get full voltage out of them, or the VREF or something like that. There's something funky there we found out. 20. Yeah, 20. But yes, they will be louder. Honestly, if you can, go with 2209s. If you're buying, don't like. Just get a 32-bit board with TMC 2209s, and that's pretty much all you need. You'll have more overhead, especially too. When will I test the orbiter? When I get to it. I am. So for those unawares, this is not my full-time job. I have a full-time job outside of here. I work steady afternoons, Monday to Friday, 40-hour work week. I have a 3-year-old toddler. Oh, and a house, and it's summer now, so I have to cut the grass and do other house stuff. So I wish I had more time to do everything, but unfortunately, I can only do so much at a time. So I will get to the orbiter. I have it. It's somewhere right now. I got it right here. I will get to this. Same with the spider. This guy is going to go in V226 when I upgrade the wiring loom and the tool head. I might try to do a daytime stream this week. We'll see. Because I really don't want to put stuff off for too long. So. Time to place another Fastenal order. Yep, pretty much. At David. Is David in chat? At David. Yeah, he's here. Okay, everyone say hi, David. You know the drill. Everyone say hi, David. What other pieces do I need? That and that. And my fans are in here. See, it's totally not something me and David figured out where if I tell everyone to say hi, David, YouTube sees that my chat is super active and it promotes the stream because it's an active stream, right? So we're totally not gaming the system by having you all say hi, David, every time David shows up. The same way I don't ask you to pick a random number when I do draws, or when I also tell you, of course, to like that smash button. I'm totally not gaming the system and playing the YouTube algorithm against itself. No, we're not. We don't do that here. We do not do that. Or accidentally mute the mic, exactly. So like, you know, when I'm talking, I'm just making it work to my advantage, so. Okay, fans. So we're going to be putting the fans in. So you got your 40-20 fan and 40-10 fan. And you have to take the housing off of these. So, find my itty bitty screwdriver that I always misplace. Or I can just cut them. So you got to take the front off the fan, okay? So the front housing off the fan in the garbage, okay? Now, for fans, I just run these GD Stein brushless dual ball bearing 24 volt fans. I don't go crazy with the fans. Some people go really crazy with the fans. I do not. And then you feed the wire through the back. And then when you're pushing it down into it, make sure that you don't push on the hub, okay? When you're pushing the fan down, push it from like the actual plastic housing. Don't be pushing on the fan. If you do, you're gonna have a bad time. Take your front piece, goes over top, and it should line up perfectly. Oh, I'm gonna have to open those up. Yeah, I gotta open those up a little bit. Or put these kind of flush. Some brands of fan, you might find the housing is not the same. Like, these are bulk components from AliExpress. There is no guarantee that everything will fit perfectly, so you may have to go in there and trim some stuff or play around and make it work. So, if you got to do it, you got to do it. Yes, as John says, you got to have dual balls. Where did I put... We're going to be coming up with a point soon where we're going to do a Nero cleans up his printer room stream. I am misplacing stuff all the time right now. Here. Oh well, I don't need it. M316s. Oh, there. Do a stream where you clean your room. Hey man, I've done a stream where we sort screws, so nothing is beyond our reach. Do anything we put our minds to. Let's hope they fix the SKR. If it's already on its way and they didn't send the new one and it's an SKR2, you're getting a broken one. If you get a sticker on your SK, okay. Hey guys, PSA, emergency announcement. If you have an SKR2 in your possession or you have one on the way, there should be a sticker on it. If it says Rev A, I believe it's going to say, don't use it. Unless it has a sticker that says Rev B, do not use it. It will blow up your TMC 2209s. Okay? BTT screwed up, put the wrong MOSFET on it, and they go pop. So, yeah. Do they test anything? I don't know. I'm gonna have to drill that out. I gotta find a 2mm drill. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. Trying to find a 2mm drill. Is that a 2mm? I think that's a 2mm drill. Yep, 2mm. Okay, what I miss? What I miss? John Clark, $100. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You do not have to do that. For the zip tie fastener fun, yes, a cleaning stream would be awesome. You're awesome. I do have to do the, I am going to be doing a members only stream, hopefully this month sometime. That will be open to anyone who's a channel member or a Patreon supporter. I won't be gatekeeping the content. So it will be pushed live at a later date, like maybe a week later or something. But I do want to do something for those that support the channel because you guys make all this possible. So maybe I'll treat you to that. I'll figure out something fun. So, just use some filament and floss it. There was a little blob in there that I had to clean out. So, for how these fit together, it's really simple. You got your hot end cooling fan and then your part fan that blows through the ducts. This kind of fits in here, like so. When you don't pinch the wire. Oh, I gotta take that out. I'm gonna have to cut this little tab here. And if you have hot glue, go ahead and put a dab of hot glue on these because these have a tendency to getting ripped off because right now it's only the solder joint holding it. So essentially it's like that, and then you have a piece of filament that goes all the way through and that holds everything into position. So let me get some filament. ASA, we'll go with some ASA. No, that's not ASA. Where do I have ASA? No, that's loaded in the machine. Blue. There you go, KVP. Thank you, KVP. This is a very nice blue filament. We're gonna use some blue. There's our one accent color that we're gonna use on this printer. Dustin Speed, $20. Thank you, appreciate it. We love you. Oh, I love you guys too. I'm gonna have to drill these ones out too. That's one thing I found. The nylon was, because this is all printed in CF nylon, was very over extrudy happy, put it that way. So I had some decent issues with over extrusion. Nothing like game breaking. But holes tended to be a little bit tighter than they should have been. Giggity. There we go. The ODSD. Thank you for coming, remember. And Dustin, $20. Oh no, I already got you. Thank you again though. Possible 1.8 per tool changer. There is a mod that already does that, I believe. I think it's called the Woodpecker, I believe. Yeah, I think there is a mod for tool changer on the 1.8. It's not official, and odds are there will never be an official one because that's not something the team's really looking into. But that would be It is a mod. Did I get 0.6 hardened nozzles? Yes, I did. I do have them. They're over here. Okay. So we have that part assembled, piece of filament, and that goes on top. So let's put this all together. So let me see here. Let me get an actual camera angle you guys can use. Using my spiffy Sparta 3D product placement box. He sent me a shirt. I have a shirt. It's in the wash. Otherwise, I'd be wearing it right now. Because he also hooked me up with some panels, some ABS panels for this build. Sparta 3D is one of the companies that kind of helped out with some product for this build. Along with LDO Motors, of course, and Fermio Labs. There we go. And of course, the awesome sponsor of the stream, Bangs.com. Okay, so you got your little wires here. These green ones are the end stop. Let's go over that. And then this bigger wire here, this is our bed probe. So we have our LGX. That goes down the filament tube. Actually, I'm gonna have to change that Voron out. I forgot. Because we are running an LGX. The Voron is longer on the LGX. I forgot about that. So let's see how much longer I gotta make this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that goes up. It's about 19 mil. Okay. So it's a longer filament feed path from the for the LGX and the Afterburner by about 10 mil. Honestly, that ain't gonna really make any difference in terms of your your printer and like the ability to feed flexibles and whatnot. Like, it's a fully constrained filament path. There's nowhere really for the filament to go. Why not red belts? I don't know. These are the high temp belts. These are high temp Gates belts. Because Toasty Boy is a toasty boy. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, and there's a printed spacer. Where's the spacer? There we go, I forgot about the spacer. This spacer goes back here. That's gonna go there. Oh, it's actually gonna be tight. Because when this was designed, this wasn't required. So this might actually be a little bit tight. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. There we go. And how long were the screws again? That part I don't remember. I think they're 40s. Are they 40s? Like Ivan Miranda spacer. Oh. Space. Oh. I gotta drill those out. Yep. Space. Oh, wait, is this the right side drill? Always check your drill size before you go drilling. Yeah, that is the right size drill. Yay, carbon fiber on the belts. There we go. Ah, dang it. I forgot heat set inserts. Sorry guys, we're so close to greatness. So close. I thought I put them all in. I'm sorry guys, I'm sorry, I goofed. Yeah, all the parts on this printer are CF nylon. For two reasons. One, I want to give it a shot. And two, as Ivan Drago would say, if he dies, he dies. Because data and information and whatnot. People always want to build Vorons out of some fancy plastics. So you know what? I'm going to build a Voron using the fancy plastics. And if it dies, it dies. So we will get a data point that we can point people towards when they ask, hey, can I build my Voron out of X? Toasty Boy is going to be toasty. We're looking at internal chamber temperatures of pushing 70 C. That's kind of hot, as Paris Hilton would say. That's hot. So, I think it's 20 mil. We will find out if it works or not. And if it fails, well, I got other plastics to try. I've also got CF polycarbonate. Give a shot. And then if that fails, well, I got glass-filled nylon as well. And if that fails, I've got more. No, actually 20 mil ain't gonna work. Nope, okay, 25 mil. It's 25 mil. Okay, so if you're running with the LGX as your extruder, you need M325s, 2 of them. Oh, Will Smith says that's hot too. That's right. I remember the memes. I'm one of those kids who understands internet memes. How do you do, fellow kids? Actually, it might be M322. Nope, it's 25. There we go. Having issues with the fitment here. Dropping cameras. These wires are tight and it won't let this sit flush. Tom's 3D. Yes, I watched the Melt Zone podcast where Tom Salander, never pronounce it right, Salander. He is building a V2, he says. Because CNC Kitchen already built a V0. And now Tom's building a V2 apparently. I'm just going to say in regards to that, I wish him all the best. Please don't buy a XYZ kit from XABC dealer and then post about it, and then we'll have a million people asking how to buy that kit and then coming to us when they have issues with that kit. Because remember that FormBot kit that I went through 2 weeks ago? Kits from FormBot now have completely different stuff in them. So, yeah. That is installed there. Carbon fiber in my rails. It's more likely than you think. Okay, so we have that on, and then M330 and M312. So obviously, how do I have it set up? Yeah. You're gonna have to feed the wires out of the side here on this guy. So you're gonna have your fan wire for the bottom here. You wanna make sure you have enough slack in here so that you can, flip the fan out and then flip it back in. So what I find it's easiest is to kind of just slide it onto it. sure nothing is pinched. Let's screw that in. Sure that's not pinched. That's good there. That's pinched. 1 second. Put a little piece of tape on that. Oh no, we're good. We're good. There we go. Do I have it on a camera you can see me? Yeah, okay. That's good there, that's good there. 312s. I have to actually grab from the kit. When will Prusa? I don't know what Prusa's doing, man. Honestly, since the Mark III, I don't know what they've been doing, because like they came out with their SLA printer and they don't really talk about it much anymore. Like they came out with it and then SLA printer, like resin printers, prices dropped. So when it came out, it was like, hey, we're coming out with a resin printer, and everyone's like, oh, that's cool. And then the Photons came out and the Mars and all the other like entry-level cheap printers, and then Bruce is like, okay, here's our $1,500 resin, and it's like, I can get one that does the exact same thing for $400. Like, so there's that, and they've been working on the Prusa XL for how long? I don't know, but they've been working on that for a while now. Voron's like a bunch of random guys doing this for free, and there was 5 Vorons put out last year. Now, granted, they don't have the same support and manuals and all the other stuff that Prusa has, right? You know, we don't need to worry about logistics. We're just putting a design out there, build it on your own, have fun. But still, 5 designs in a year, and Prusa XL is still, it's a name. How big is the XL? We don't know. We don't know anything about the XL. Apparently it's Core XY. That's all I know. Okay, there you go. Here's our tool head. Hopefully this little nubbin up here doesn't get in the way. That's one of the downsides with the LGX tool head, or the LGX. You got this big nubbin up top here. And I think I can take the red handle off. Let me check. Oh, it does come off. Okay. Yeah, so... Hey, look at the ceiling. Hi, guys. You can take off the little red protector, but it really doesn't buy you anything. So, that limits your height. I bet COVID got in the way. We had to deal with COVID last year, too, but again, we do everything remote always, because it's a Discord. So, I will say Prusa Slacer is pretty good. Okay. So we have that. And now it kind of looks like a printer. Now, I'm not going to put the bed on yet. Okay. Reason for that is The bed is heavy. You're probably going to be flipping your printer around a lot. Usually when I build a printer, the bed is the very last thing I put in. So I get everything all done, even wiring, and then I put the bed on and hook the bed up because it makes your printer 10 pounds heavier once you put it in. So save the bed till the very end. Dremel that nub shorter. No, it's the caution flag. Okay, so we got to put some end stop stuff in. So we got to put this guy together. And this is for our Z end stop. Or correction, Y end stop. So the micro switch goes in and that screws down. So let me grab a micro switch and solder. Micro switch. Where did I put it? Nope, not in there, not in there, not in there. Is it this one? No. How did I misplace it already? Oh, there it is. Okay, so I need some wire here. Now this one, you know what? I'm going to hold off doing this because I'm going to do this during the wiring portion. Because how this works, this is a really simple circuit. All it is you take your end stop, you solder on your wires, and then it goes here and then feeds down. So I'm going to hold off until I do the wiring to put this guy in. Simply for the fact that, yeah, that fits in there fine. Wire length and whatnot. So I'll have a better idea about wire lengths. So I'm going to hold off on this guy until next week. So put that guy away. But I can put together the Z one. So for the Z offset, remember on a V1 and a V2, you have your inductive probe for your bed tramming, but we also have a Z end stop micro switch that your nozzle itself pings off of. That sets your Z offset when you go to print. So when you're, I don't know where those went. I have one left. I'll just grab one of these. So it's really nice because when you go to do any nozzle changes or swap out tool heads like the hot end cartridge, you don't need to reset your Z offset at all. So your probe does your tramming, which also means drift doesn't affect you. Okay, so when you tram out your bed cold or hot, you will have different sense distances for your bed probe, right? Because at different temperatures, the sense distance will be different. Prusa owners will know about that because live adjusting Z has been a meme with Prusa since forever. So the way we get around that on the V1 and the V2 is we just ignore that completely. Because when you're trimming out your bed, your readings within a certain time period, that short time period, especially if you do what we recommend and do like a 10-minute heat soak, where you heat the printer up to whatever temperature you're going to be printing at, let it sit for 10 minutes, and then run your tram, you're usually going to get stable temperatures. So when you do the tram, point to point, it should be the same, okay? But if you do the tram at 60 degrees and 110 degrees, your sense distance may be different. So by throwing in a Z offset micro switch that pings off your nozzle directly, you can just completely ignore that. So the probe trams out your bed, and then this sets your nozzle offset. And this is a really simple setup. All it is you got your printed part here. You got a 20-tooth gear that you take the flange off and you jam it in. Your micro switch goes in there. And then you have a pin sits up top, and that's it. The pin pushes the micro switch. No heat transfer, and it's all good. And I'm pretty sure you got to take off the clicky part, I believe. Oh no, you leave it on. I think you leave it on. And then also, if you want to be super fancy, you can solder the wires directly onto this, but you can also solder on a JST connector. Yeah, you got to take the clicky part off. Martini. I'm probably going to go grab a beer in a bit. So you take the clicky part off, which you just bend it off. And you will see this is offset, so make sure you put it in a way so that the clicky part is in the middle of the hole. Sem de Broer, €5. Thank you, appreciate it. Hey man, did you get a lot of emails? Oh yeah, oh my god. Thank you, appreciate it, by the way. So right now, let me pause the music for a second. Okay, so right now I'm doing a little thing where I want you to send me pictures of your printer setup. So I'm going to link it in chat right here, an email address. Okay, so right now I'm doing a little thing. It is a totally original idea that I'm not borrowing from anyone else, like any of the streamers who rate your streaming setup, or the PC builders who rate your PC setup, or apparently I think somebody does it with printers already. I don't know. But it's totally not an original idea that I thought up of on my own, and it's my idea, and I'm totally rolling with that. But send me pictures of your printing setup. Now, at this point, I put this tweet out on, I think, Monday or Tuesday, and I posted on the YouTube channel and on Patreon as well, I think. But at this point, if you're just having an Ender 3 just sitting on a bench, I've got enough of those. I think I'm up to like 70 pictures. Like, people have emailed me like 70 like groups of pictures already. So if you have a printing setup that is either like you think it's super baller, like it's amazing, or you have the opposite, you have an Ender 3 or an A8 that is partially on fire, okay? Or you're running with rusted linear rails or whatever. Send me pictures of your setup if you think they're either super cool or super janky. I'm gonna probably put together a video where I rate them. I'm gonna have fun. I'm doing this for fun, just because I've been doing a lot of reviews and builds and tutorials. I just want to do something different. So yeah, send me your pictures. Please no dick pics. I haven't received any of those yet. I don't want to receive any of those. You will be banned. Okay, carrying on. So, let me find a pin with a flat bottom. There we go. So, we got a printed housing. We got our micro switch with the little lever arm broken off. It's centered with the hole for the clicky part. Probably won't see, but if you look down that hole right there through the 22 idler or gear, you will see the clicky part. You take your pin, you put it in there, and when your nozzle comes down, it should go clicky click. How long does this pin need to be? When it's all together, roughly level with your bed. If it's a millimeter high, you're probably fine. Just make sure that your nozzle can hit this pin before it hits your bed, before it crashes into your bed, essentially. So you got room for adjustment if you need to. And then you just screw it in place. Now, what you can do if you want to be super fancy, because this attaches to your bed, and there's nothing below your bed because it moves, you can take one of these 3-pin JST connectors, bend some wires around, and get that to fit in there. Actually, these might be Molex KK, but you can solder that in there just to make it, a little bit of a cleaner setup and have the ability to replace them if you need to. Yeah. Okay, these are JST. Yeah. So what you can do is solder the 3 pins for your end stop to this JST connector, and then glue the JST connector in there using like some really short jumper wires, and that way you actually can connect and disconnect this, just to make it a little bit of a cleaner setup. So that's something you can do for fun. Now, where are my M2 screws? Dang it. Are they over here? Nope, nope. I don't know where that little baggie went with all the I swear, I'm spending like half my streams at the moment looking for screws. Let them know. No. That's a washer. No. Heh. No. No. I sound like my son right now. Just no. Okay, well, I got some of my own. M2 self-tappers. Lilith, 5 pounds. Thank you, appreciate it. Janky Wanho for the Rate My Rig has already caught fires 4... What? Has it only caught fires 4 times? That's hot. Now mod the rod to prevent it falling out. Yeah, so for those that are unawares, an M5 rod and gravity means it will fall. So to keep your M5 rod from falling out of the Z end stop, you can either use a grub screw and a flat on the rod to kind of retain it. So you cut a little flat in the rod, you put a grub screw in so that it sits in that flat, but don't put it in all the way so it actually like compresses the rod. You need the rod to be able to move, right? And then put like a dab of Loctite just to keep the scrub screw from moving, and that way it'll give it a positive stop to prevent it from falling out. Apparently you can also just put a magnet on one of the grub screws and the magnet will kind of hold it in enough. So this guy goes roughly there. So you know what, let's do some soldering. Because, what time is it? It's 9:30 and we're running kind of close to the... not the end, but the limits of what we can do tonight. So I'm totally not going to try and eke a little bit more content out of the stream tonight. I would not do that. Nope, nope, nope. dab of super glue on that. How do you put a flat on the pin? If you got a Dremel or a grinder or some other form of, you need to be able to grind it essentially. So a grinder of some sort. Because hardened pins, you can't really, it's not like wood. You can't really just cut it. That's set up. My soldering iron over here. Get the big iron. TS100. Love this thing. Some Celdeo. We're going to need some wire for this. That'll do. How does the switch work? Does it require a hot nozzle to... Yeah, usually you run with the nozzle hot when you do it. Waiting on the super glue to... 6 hours with a nail file. That's one way of doing it if you really want to. By the way, super glue like hardens quicker with moisture. So when you blow on it, it's the moisture in your breath that makes it set faster. Milling machine with a carbide end mill. That'll work too. I have a bench grinder at work, like a table grinder. You know, with one with table moves, wheel spins. I have one of those at work. That's what I use. Oh, I should probably turn it on. I mean, power source. There we go. Stop sniffing glue. I picked the wrong week to quit sniffing glue. So what I've done is bend the 3 pins over. I'm just going to tin them up. Okay, we'll do the middle one first, because the middle one is literally just to hold it in place. Loosen up our wire. That's it. There's one. So remember, it's low voltage, right? So you're just connecting wire to wire. Come on. This is crappy. There we go. There's a 330. Yeah, there. You can get a header board for this, but I could do this right now. .335, got the Moderna shot. I think, oh, by the way, May 17th, I can finally get a shot up here. That's when it opens up for people over 30. I've been a super huge fan of the way our government's been handling this, but not really much I could do. It is what it is. There we go. Turn that off. That's good there. Trim off any excess. There we go. Easy peasy. So this is just like you don't need to do what I've done here. Okay. This was just something to kind of clean it up a little bit, make it so that you can connect and disconnect the wire without having to take the whole assembly off. If you have a soldering gun, or soldering iron. It's just something you can quickly do just to kind of clean it up a bit, make it look a little bit better. So this will be handy for us right now because we are not going to be doing the wiring today. So I can install this and it'll be good to go. I just got to put a connector on and we're done. So I'm going to put a little piece of Captain tape on it just to keep the electricals isolated. You know, really nothing should touch it. And you have to remember too, there is no there's no force on this part at all. Like this part right here is literally just sitting here. There's nothing affecting it. There's no forces on it. So okay, Captain tape doesn't stick to nylon. Never mind about the Captain tape. What are the new recommended wires? If you can, get some PTFE wires. So Remington is the popular brand for wires that we recommend. So I would use those. Oh yeah, and continuity test them too. Make sure you don't have a short. No short. We're good. AstraZeneca. I think that's what we get up here in Canada. I think we're getting AstraZeneca as the is our option. I think there's like a small chance you can get the Johnson & Johnson one. I'm not 100% sure of that, but don't quote me on that. 20 got Johnson & Johnson 4 weeks ago. Never realized how long it took. Yeah. So basically how it works up here in Canada, it's kind of shitty, but our country actually bought more vaccines than any other country in the world per capita. The problem is we don't make them here. They're all made in other countries, namely like India, I think is where AstraZeneca is, and then America and Europe. So what basically happened was, yes, we bought a bunch from other countries. However, you're going to help your own first, right? So yes, you know, Americans are making a crap ton of vaccines, but they're going to Americans. Same with like the ones we bought from Europe. They have like obligations that they have to fulfill because yes, we bought a bunch, but EU countries paid for the development, so they get first dibs kind of thing. So it's kind of crappy that it's that way, but that's what it is. So yes, we bought a bunch, but we didn't get first dibs at them. At least that's as far as I understand. So yes, nail polish conformal coating. And this is M320s to hold it on. What are my thoughts on the Vinda? As somebody who comes from kind of a machinist background, I like my mechanical end stops. I like my clicky switches. I'm still running the original V2.0 spec Omron switch on V226 behind me here. So we have that is now installed. Drag chains. I won't put the drag chains in yet because I do that when I run the wires. Bed. Okay, so the bed itself is already pre-assembled. I already have the bed assembled. It is over here. So, movie magic time. I've just pulled it out of the oven. It's done. It's got the, I did a whole video on this. If you want to know how I put the bed together, I did a video a couple weeks ago. So, we got the fancy pants, high temp RTV gasket silicone. We got the fuse that is glued to the bed. Got the removable spring steel flex plate. Got our magnet. Voila. He's a bed. And tip, if you can, get spring steel that is bigger than your bed. It just makes it a little bit easier to line it up. Same with the PI. Get bigger PI than your bed is. So for putting it on, we have the M3 thumb screw and some shim and an M316. So I actually got to cut some holes here because I don't have holes in my bed. I got to cut holes through this stuff. So let's try this. Let's try this. You can go over here for now. Okay, so the spring steel, all my bed stuff was supplied, other than the Kenovo pad where I got from Kenovo directly. Fermio Labs is where I got my all my bed stuff from. Was Fermio Labs. They have the spring steel and the black PI. So that's where I got it. There we go. Put some speed holes in my mat. Gotta go quicker. I'm hoping if I can, will this work? Not really. Yeah, maybe. Actually, yeah, this does work. Because you got your screw goes through here and it's countersunk. So you want to cut out the magnet, obviously, so you can put your screw through. So if you got one of these little deburring tools, that works. When is it okay to have mains voltage going around? I'm fine with it on Z and fixed. If you have the proper wires and the proper mounting solution and the proper rated drag chain and everything is to spec, you can have mains voltage move. Okay, it's CNC machines do that all the time, right? CNC tool heads or CNC machines, the spindles are usually 220 volt or 320 or 380 or whatever. Like, they're high voltage and they move, so you can do it safely. But on low budget 3D printers, I prefer the least amount of movement as possible. This actually works really good for cutting these, because I was just going to cut a square out, but this actually works really good, and it leaves it nice and flat so the magnet will still sit flush. or the spring steel will still sit flush. So I know I said earlier, don't put your bed on until the very end, and here I am putting the bed on. I'm going to take it off. I'm just putting it on just to make sure everything lines up and we're all good there. And then I'm going to take the bed right off. Graviflex, yes, this is the Graviflex magnet. This is it's all on Fermio Labs. If you go, I don't know if I linked everything in my video, but it's all Fermio Labs. They make good shit. So, it says here an M3 nut, okay? The problem is if you use an M3 nut, you can't really bolt it down because there's no way to spin the screw once the nut is tight. So, I'm going to use M4s. So, use M4 knurled nuts. That way your M3 screw, which is an M316. Can go through it, like so. And then we got the spring in the front. Because for those that don't know, obviously, this isn't a V2. We can't do quad gantry tramming because our gantry's fixed and the bed moves and we only got 2 Z screws. So how leveling the bed on a V1 works with the V1.8 revision is your 2 motors here are independent. So when you tram the bed out, you use your bed probe and that trams it left to right. So on the X axis. For your Y axis, front to back, you have a thumb screw. So you basically just have to manually do the front to back because the side to side and any potential racking down the line is canceled out by the bed probe doing its bed thing. So. And how many washers? It's like 3 washers. 3 M3 shim. Clipper will tell you how much to rotate the screw. Neat. Remember, I've never built a V1 before, so this is all new to me. Okay, these ones are bigger. So I don't need the shim because I might actually need longer screws because these M4 standoffs are actually bigger. They're taller. Yeah, I'm gonna need M3. Shoot, I'm gonna need longer screws. This might not work. Let's see what I got. What do I got in stock? M318s it is. Yep, that'll work. Okay. There we go. So I gotta replace that screw because that's a M316 and I've got like 3 threads of engagement and you want more than that. So 18. Shoot. Shoot. Okay, M320 actually. Okay, crack that. Shift the whole thing that way. I should have one M340 left. Oh, here's that 20 tooth. Had one M340 left. Where did it go? There it is. You need a V1, Raymond? Well, get yourself a V1. They be all the rage right now. Now, you will need the M3 knurled nut, though, so don't not order them. But you are going to need one for adjusting your bed. As I misplaced them again. There we go. we go. So, hey guys, I'm building my printer. Where do I put a Sparta box of levitation? Where'd I put you? How do I locate my bed, guys? Where does my bed go? Well, this is where your bed goes, okay? And this applies on the V1 or on the V2 too. You got your end stop, right? So you got your pin here. Obviously this pin is way too long, but it gives you a good example. Where does the bed go? It goes close to it, but not touching. Okay? So if your bed is touching that pin, you're gonna have a bad time. Okay? Because what that means is thermal heat transfer. You want an air gap. Okay? But it's got to be in a location where the nozzle reaches. Okay? So this pin on a V1 is on your X axis, okay? So it'll be at your X minimum. So when X is 0, when this hits the end stop and goes click, this should be directly under that, okay? Then when you put your bed in, you basically slide your bed over as far as you can until you have like a 2 or 3 millimeter gap here, and that's it, okay? That is how you locate your bed, okay? So when you set up your firmware, make sure you set up offsets so that you're not, you know, trying to print in this little, you're gonna lose a couple, you're probably gonna lose about 5 millimeters of X travel, obviously, because you can't print unless you want to mill out a little corner of your bed, which you could do. I've seen people do it, but it's like 5 millimeters of bed. Do you really need an extra 5 mil? Now on a V2, it's the opposite. The switch is on the back, so it's at your Y maximum. And so when you go Y max, put the pin underneath the nozzle, and then move your bed back till you just have an air gap of 2 to 3 millimeters, and that's where the bed lives. Bolt your bed down. So for now, we're just gonna leave it where it is because we gotta play around and stuff's gonna move and shift. So we'll just put it there for now. Just kind of snug everything up so nothing goes moving. Pull that pin out. Don't need it. So that is that. You can put this guy on. And at this point, it's starting to look like a printer. Yay. Can you use a Home Assistant? If you're running Clipper through Octoprint, and there's an Octoprint plugin for it, you should be able to. TinyM is a V0, but in 2020 with MGN 9 and NEMA 17. So it's an upsized V0. So yeah. So it says right there, it just said end stop, must not touch the bed. I like having a nice, decent air gap there. I'm okay with losing an extra millimeter or two because any heat from the bed is going to soak into the pin, obviously. And when metal gets hot, it expands. So you do want a little bit of an air gap there. If it's touching, you're going to have a bad time. Okay, so I'm not going to put the skirts in. The reason I'm not going to put the skirts in right now is for a very simple reason. I haven't printed them yet. I'm going to actually try a little funky thing when it comes to filament changes for the skirts to try and accent them a little bit. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I'm going to try that tomorrow. So I got to print the skirts, but what we can do now is put the backpack on. You know, it's internal. So we got to build ourselves a backpack, which we're going to use the last of the extrusions finally. this stuff. Put this up here. I need to put a shelf up there. I'm just waiting on, you know, hardware stores to open back up. Just an idea. Print 2 slices of toast to have look like they're sticking out of the top like a toaster. We're done. Bye. Anyways, back to constructive things. I kid. I kid. You know I'm joking. Hey, look, guys. It's the only parts on this printer that are in ABS. Toast cam when. Y'all be loco. Y'all be loco sometimes. You know that. You guys are crazy sometimes. You should quit your job and do this full time. And then I'd have to deal with you guys like that? Like that? Do you think I could put up with that every day? Toast printer. Toast printer, really? Toast printer. Toast printer. So the backpack's actually really simple. It pretty much, it's mostly printed parts. Like that kind of, that goes there, that goes there, this bolts into here, that bolts into there, and you're done. Five tens, gonna get those. I'm the one who called it Toasty Boy. Okay, you know what? You know what? You got me there. You actually do got me there. I am going to try. Apparently, CNC Kitchen already did it. Stefan already did it. But I do want to do a sous vide stream where we try and sous vide a steak on the printer. I do want to try that. So we will sous vide a steak on a Voron at some point. Martin, somebody already made that joke. Now we got to get to the meat of the stream. Okay, you... Running it on so thick. We are this close to butter. We are like... Why do I do this to myself? Why do I do this to myself? Oh, this was a fun hobby, you know. Start streaming the builds. Help people so you don't have to get all the questions on Discord all the time. And no, toast and butter and... Nobody, $5 Canadian. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for being a quality content creator. Quality with a capital C. Actually, thank you guys. All this toast talk, though, has reminded me I need to take a loaf of bread out of the freezer because I'm making French toast for breakfast tomorrow. So actually, thank you. Thank you. I forgot about that. Take a deep breath and a drink. You know what? I'm out of whiskey. I'm gonna go get a beer. I think it's beer o'clock time. Pancakes. Pancakes are good. Every Sunday morning, I do a big, well, I do a family breakfast every Saturday morning. So I'll do like pancakes, hash brown, bacon, eggs. Usually alternate between pancakes and French toast. So it's the last day of the weekend. Get some good food in ya. Pain perdu. Cold Labatt Blue. No, I think I got some keys. So, I'm gonna go get a beer. You guys, go get a drink for yourselves. I'll turn the music up, mute the mic. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Oh, he brought a toy. Mike, thank you for coming a member. You all done? Okay. Gotta turn the noise suppression back on. Duff 699, doggo, yes, doggo. He was actually sitting outside the door there. He needs a bath. He still smells. Where can you send pictures of your printers? So if you guys want me to critique your printers, send them to the following email address. By the way, if at this point, due to the sheer volume of pictures I've received, if it's just like an Ender 3 sitting on a bench, I've got enough of those. But if it's like something really cool or really janky and you think it would make good content, send it in. And tonight we got the Alexander Keys Indian Pale Ale. Some reason, Das Boot, I have to approve you saying doggo. TPU tire. Yeah, that's a TPU tire. And switch to the metric system. Okay. I'm down with that. Other than machines. My Bridgeports better be in thou. All the unpaid sponsor. Well, I don't think a 3D printing stream is a prime market demographic for a lot of alcoholic beverages. Although, actually, it may be. I know I usually have my whiskey drink for the last hour or so of the stream, but I'm actually out. There is a metal chip in the screw head. Best way to pack grease into a syringe, draw it up. Can I still chat in the stream? You can chat in the stream. Sponsored by LCBO. I don't think the Liquor Control Board of Ontario sponsors anything. I've never even seen an ad for them. All you get is that little magazine. Although their website is pretty good, actually. What, you don't like Alexander Keith there, Allerson? And as for my taste in whiskey, I don't really have a preferred whiskey. I tend to actually just grab something new every week. Well, not every week. I don't drink that much. But anytime I go, I try to get something new just to kind of change it up and try different types. It's like wine. There are people that are wine snobs like, oh, this one's better than... Buy what you like. You're the one drinking it. Buy what you like. It's like filaments, right? If you like printing ABS, you keep printing ABS. But in that case, it's because you're right. How can you donate to the stream using Android? There should be a little money icon, $ icon underneath the chat. I've never watched a stream, tried to donate on a stream on my phone. I've only ever done it on computer, so I'm not 100% sure. What would cause the X to slip on my 2.4 when the chamber temp goes above 60? So if you're printing models just fine at sub 50 Celsius chamber temps, and all of a sudden you bump it up to 50 and you're having belt slip issues, check your idlers, make sure nothing's overheating, make sure all your grub screws on your motors, your Z motors, are tight, and make sure nothing is impeding the spinning of your upper Z idlers. Knob Creek's good. Gotta put this guy in. So at this point, we have this part assembled, and I gotta put this in and put those pieces in. So there we go. So I gotta peel off the backing. And here comes the part where the printer gets covered in dog hair. So that goes in there like a show. And then we have more cutouts. Now these cutouts are provided by... These are ABS. These are from Sparta 3D. So these panels are ACM. Okay, I got these panels ACM from Fermio Labs, and these ones are ABS from Sparta 3D. I kind of wanted to try both, mix and match some parts to kind of accent the look. It's gonna be fun to try and keep everything. How the heck is it supposed to work? It just kind of slides in there. Okay, I see. I see. You go there. Go there. And this just kind of... there. Let me turn this around. You go there, you go there. You come up. Yep, I know this is not a good angle position, but it is what it is for what I'm doing right now. That goes there, that goes there. Goes there. That goes there. That goes there. This piece has nothing to actually retain it until it's all in. Okay, so I can deal with that part later. That goes there. That goes there, and I got 2 screws there, and that goes there. Okay. These. 3D printing and painting. Hey! Hello there. By the way, I'm still trying to figure out the YouTube monetization thing with my channel, and trying to get ad revenue to actually, you know, exist. So, asking you guys, for those that watch stuff on my channel who aren't running an ad blocker, because I know that's like the majority of you guys, does anyone see ads before any of my videos? Joe's got it. Joe's got it. Do you guys see ads before my videos? Yeah, no toast today. Oh, we're not printing today. We're getting ready to wire today. No. Okay. Premium. Okay. Bin travel, 10 euro. Thank you, appreciate it. Nope. Okay. Yeah, for some reason, my channel is properly monetized and everything. And I have it set to display ad. Now, don't worry, they're the skippable ads. And I don't run mid-rolls. Not that it matters, because I don't get ads. But somehow I don't get ads. So. Fortunately, no making of money on the videos. I think I gotta put the bottom panel in right now too. Yeah, I gotta put the bottom panel in. Yeah, okay, so I gotta flip it over in a second here. So flip these in and then I'll flip it and put the bottom panel on. I think it happened to me, but once told me it was paying more attention, no ads showed up. Okay. It's not a setting. So I do have my channel set up properly. And you guys should be seeing ads, but apparently I don't meet some hidden criteria with YouTube or something where, like, not every video on YouTube gets ads, right? You upload a video on your channel, and like 3 people watch it. You're not going to get ads, right? There are certain, I guess when people buy ads on YouTube, you know, I'm Coca-Cola and I want ads on YouTube, right? You buy blocks of ads that, hey, to get an ad, you need to meet a certain criteria, right? So X amount of views or this type of content, yada, yada, yada. And apparently I just don't meet those. So no ads, no ad revenue. That's how she is, I guess. I can't put the bottom panel in until I put the yeah, I don't think I can put the bottom panel in until I put the I can put the Do I get money if premium watchers? I don't think so. Right now, the only the only money I'm making off of YouTube is YouTube premium, or not premium, YouTube membership, and donations and super chats. So, yeah. And then there's also Patreon, of course, and then our wonderful sponsor for tonight's stream, thanks.com. Make sure you check out the link below. Everyone go click the link below. Go download that model, print it for your mom. Or your wife, for whoever is a mother in your life. They deserve something. Make something. We got 3D printers. We don't need to do the macaroni stuff anymore. Chainsaw Robovac, $2. Thank you. I'm Dirty Scum and use AdBlock. I use AdBlock too. Everyone uses AdBlock. Okay. We're going to flip this up now and put that bottom panel in. As the gantry falls down, because this is not a switch wire. ABS. Uh-oh. Yeah. Uh-oh. These are the wrong size. Those are the wrong size panels. Uh-oh. Those are 300 panels. They're not 250s. These ones are right. These ones are right. Those are the wrong size panels. Those are 300 panels. Get the CNC out. The CNC ain't big enough to cut those. Nimgria. These were sent by cardboard and tinfoil. That'd probably work. Yeah, these were sent by Sparta. It's weird because honestly, I'm chalking that up to just a simple fluke because these panels are the right size. The panels for the backpack are the right size. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to and I'll have to send a message there. So we shall see. I'm not sharing my screen, right? Okay. There we go. I'm running noise canceling, so That's why. Just spin, yeah, cut them like a sable saw. I could do that. Okay, I'm just gonna put some blocks in here to keep this this one panel from falling out. Can you apply window tint to acrylic? I think you can. I'm pretty sure you can. I don't see why not. Ooh, Zachary Centine, $1.99. Thank you, appreciate it. Acrylic is, yes, it is, because if you try to look through it with a an infrared, I believe it won't work. Yeah, I believe it already is IR reflective, if I'm not mistaken. That ain't gonna work. 16. Do I have any documentation about my setup? I would have to have a website for that. And Only Benchies just goes to my YouTube. But in terms of my setup, as it is right now, I have 3 cameras. I think 3, 1. I got 4 cameras. No, 3 cameras. So right now I have a Sony A5100 connected to a cam link, Elgato cam link. So that's what you're seeing right now is a Sony A5100 connected to a cam link. It's running the stock lens. It's just sitting up there with a power brick, giving it power all the time. So I have that for the main camera. And then the overhead camera here is my old main camera, which is a Sony Vixia RX800, I think it is. It's the one you can buy at like Costco. That is going into a $20 China China knockoff cam link. So that's why the colors are kind of funky, but it was like $20. And it works good enough for an overhead cam. And then my mobile camera that you guys sometimes see me use, the Lube Cam, is a Logitech C920. And then I use OBS. I have a Boya lav mic with some rechargeable batteries. I got a bunch of random assortment of LEDs everywhere for cameras, or for lights. And then I have, what else? What else is there? The computer is I built it on stream. It's a Ryzen 3100, 16 gigs of RAM, and I use a NVIDIA GTX 1060 for encoding. So it's Canon Vixia, yeah, Canon Vixia. Any updates on the CNC? It's still coming along. It's going to be like a late summer at the absolute earliest that I even start building it. I'm just so swamped with other stuff. I just don't have a lot of time. I'm still waiting like a whole bunch of stuff to come in and verify designs and whatnot. NVIDIA or NVIDIA? NVIDIA. No, NVIDIA. NVIDIA? NVIDIA. 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 I don't know. Radeon. Plotting a live stream setup to build things and So, the reason the setup is the way it is literally piecemeal. When I started off, I was using an old laptop and the C920, and that was it. And then I got this because that was on sale. I wanted to actually just buy another C920, but that was when Rona started, and I wasn't paying $200 for a C920. So I picked up that at Costco, and a cam link. Use that for a while, and now I have this. Like, the reason I like the Vix or the Sony is I can, you know, adjust focus. Hey, look, it's the whole room. You can see one of my lights. There's Tallboy. There's a box of stuff that's super secret that I can't tell you about. And there's the V0. So, yeah. Actually, these are all panels. Yeah, these are the enclosure panels. Yeah. Yeah, he sent me the right size doors. And those are the right size. Yeah, so it's only the ABS panels that were incorrect size. So we pretty much, I think we've reached our endpoint for actually building. Let me just quickly skedaddle through the manual here. Yeah, because I can't really do much else without that bottom panel. So yeah, so I think that's where we're going to call it for the actual build portion of the stream. And now is the good old QA part. Well, I kind of make a somewhat attempt to clean up. Open floor, what do you guys want to talk about? Is there anything you want me to look at? Whatnot. I'm going to try and do another stream this week. I'm going to try if I get the chance. Because right now, my only printer for printing ABS is V2.26. And I got Tallboy, and Tallboy can print ABS just fine. But I don't have a tuned profile for the way it's set up right now with the LGX and the Dragonfly HIC. So right now it's kind of just, I don't want to print anything super intricate on it. It's not tuned. I don't have a tuned profile. This is the printer I print all my parts on. So I got to print some stuff on that. Like the skirts for this guy. And I got to print a whole tool head and some stuff for that because that's going to get rebuilt. So. ABS was oversized because ABS shrink. Is there a reason to use an M4 over Clockwork? If you want Bowden, use an M4. Yeah. Like, it's not one's better than the other. They're completely different use cases. If you want to run a Bowden setup, use the M4. If you want to run, or any Bowden extruder, really. If you want to use an afterburner direct feed, your two options are the afterburner with the Clockwork or an afterburner with an LGX. I've run both. Don't forget to take the bread out. That is correct. Is this printer you're going to be using the Physx Spider? No, this printer will be using, now here's my predicament, okay, as of right now. So, I've got TNC 2209s, Big Tree Tech ones. That's what I got. Now, I've got this. This is the SKR 1.2 Pro. This is what I'm going to use. Okay. But it's Big Tree Tech. And Big Tree Tech has kind of been hit and missing it quite a bit lately. So I have this. But this also came in. Because I guess they sent me this for some reason. This is a Fly, Mellow Fly CDY V2. This is also a 6-stepper driver board. It can run rep firmware, but you know, we ain't gonna be doing that. So I actually have 2 options for what controller board I'm gonna use, and I'm not sure which one I'm gonna use. This one was given to me by Sparta, so they donated this for the build. I probably will use this, but I also have this guy. So if this happens to go like pull a big tree tech and blow up, at least I have another option now. So. Or I could just throw ramps in it, because I got those dual ramps. I don't need dual ramps. Oh wait, I would need dual ramps because I want to run the PT100 board. I want to check out the Sigmoid SP7 board. Let me Google that. Off stream, just in case. Oh, that's this one. Yeah. Okay, so it's basically a controller board with the built-in Octo, like Raspberry Pi. So here's the thing. What do you gain from it that you don't gain from just having a separate board and a Raspberry Pi? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it could run a V2 if you didn't need anything else. Honestly, Taco Raven. For those that remember the Taco Raven, it kind of looks like that. Oh, it's a Voron. Guy designed it with Voron kind of in mind. What's it got? 7 TMC 2209, 4 thermistors, 8 end stops, 30 amp. BL Touch. Why did people still... I'm not a fan of the BL Touch. Software support. It looks cool. Its problem is the price of it will probably kill it compared to actual other hardware. Because you got to remember, we're at the point now where, you know, as long as you have a 32-bit MCU and TMC 2209s, there's pretty much no print quality differences between any of them. Even like, you know, this Creality board, it's got TMC 2208s, but TMC 2208s and 2209s pretty much perform the same. It's just 2208s run a little bit hotter, and the 2209s can deliver a bit more power and have a few more features. But in terms of making the printer print plastic, that running Clipper will give you pretty much the exact same print quality as any other 32-bit board. So when it comes down to board selection nowadays for what board should I use for my printer, buy whatever one has the number of drivers you need, has the right number of hookups you need, and supports the features you want at a good price and good quality. Because as we're seeing now, there are some manufacturers that are having QC issues, and nothing is more annoying than buying a brand new board and having it blow up your stepper drivers. So yeah, it's not like the old days where it's like, oh, ramps and 8-bit Marlin, because 8-bit Marlin, you know, different boards could have different performances. A 32-bit MCU running Clipper off a Raspberry Pi with TMC 2209s across the board, unless you are pushing the limits of speed. We're talking like the people doing speed benchy stuff. Okay, you're not going to see any differences in print quality among any of them. So the reason to use that would be to connect 2 cameras. Okay. Well. Are SKR drivers compatible with Spider? They should be. They're just TMC. The Spider, I got my own. The Spider came with FiZec 2209s. No preference between LPC and STM. There shouldn't be any difference. You got to remember, with Clipper, all the actual thinking is taking place on the Raspberry Pi. So the controller board is just carrying out the basic instructions, okay? And when it comes to that, it's pretty much a pure clock speed thing. Yeah. And even then, it's like the SKR turbos, right? The SKR turbo. Should I get the turbo over the 1.4? No, because yes, the turbo is a faster processor, but you're not even anywhere near close to maxing out a 1.4, let alone the turbo. So if, this car can do 100, 150 kilometers an hour. Okay, but you don't drive more than 60. Why do you need 150? Well, it's faster. Yeah, but you don't ever use that. The speed limit's 100. Like, I'm being a straw man here. But if the speed limit's 100, what's the point of having a car that could do 200, right? Well, this one's 220. Okay, it doesn't matter. You only ever drive at 100. You only ever need 100. So we're kind of at that point with MCU speeds. It's like, you don't really need that extra when you're running Clipper. Do you mean the SKR2? The first batch of SKR2s had a faulty MOSFET that would blow up TMC 2209s because the protection circuit was incorrect, and we were basically dumping full voltage to things that shouldn't. The fix they want you to do is basically use a single wire to dump all motor current to ground, and if you use the wrong type of wire, you will fry it and potentially start a fire. Now they're sending out new boards. Undead Frost Mage, Dwarf Hunter for the Alliance. I ran a Human Paladin in Classic up until Blackrock Spire. And then I realized I was throwing my life away to WoW again, like I did in high school back in the day, and I quit. Can you fellas tell us why you don't talk about 1.0? V1.5 is a great printer. It was, that was the first Voron that I built and didn't have issues with. The V1.55. Okay, so V1.55 was a kind of stopgap upgrade for the V1.5 that came about actually during the very early days of V2.0 development. So some stuff that they kind of picked up on V2.0, they threw into V1.5 and called it V1.55. So V1.55 used toothed bearings, toothed idler bearings. Okay, so the toothed idlers with the little bearings, they basically blew up. Like left and right, they were blowing up. So they kind of got rid of that revision. And yeah. So that's why. Or desolder a finicky component on an expensive controller and hope you don't solder a bridge. Exactly. Like, not everyone, like I've soldered, for those that have seen a Taco Raven, which I'll probably pull the one on a tall boy at some point. When, the original design of Taco Raven had the wrong, SMD for the resistor, the wrong resistor for the driver. So it was limiting your max motor current to like 1 amp. So we had to resolder the itty bitty resistor by hand. Now, just to give you an idea how small that resistor was, we pull out the spider and find one. Or two. Zoom in. Oh wow, that actually works really good. Okay, so let me find a thingy for pointing. Okay. So how big was it? Okay. See this, how big was it? It was, I think they were, oh, they'd be on the drivers. Show one on a driver, I think. Okay, yeah. See this resistor here? I had to replace 10 of these by hand using my TS100. Okay. I think the MOSFETs that they want you to replace are these sizes. But yeah, those are tiny. So the thing is though, on the Taco Raven, when I did that, there's actually a decent amount of room, okay? On the SKR2, they want you to like replace this one here without bumping any of this stuff around it. Type of thing. Ugh. Yeah, that was a Yeah. But on the bright side, Tallboy's been running Taco Raven since I built it, and it's had 0 issues. So I didn't break anything, luckily. So right now the current plan is I don't have an SKR2 yet. It's on the way. They sent me 2. I think 2. They sent me 2. And then they're sending me a replacement one. They haven't received any of them yet. I will say, let me flip it up so you can see it. That looks really nice. Let me drop the bed down. Ooh, that's tight. So that, I think. But yeah, I don't have the SKR2s yet, so I can't really show them off and what's wrong with them without actually having them. Yeah, that's Voron logo in the back there that you'll never really see the full thing. But I can live with that. Yeah, the color scheme really is nice. I actually really like how the color scheme turned out. So I'm actually super happy with that. Fermio Labs door. I'm going to put stickers for the other 2 for Sparta and LDO on that door. And then this door, what I'm going to do is, obviously, these are ACM. You can't see in there. So I'm going to put a camera mounted up top in a corner so I can watch it. But on this door, I'm actually going to cut out a window and put a piece of plexiglass in it. So I'll use the 3018 for that. And then, yeah. So because I actually have options, I'm going to do ACM for all the sides, except for, I think, the top. I think the top I am going to leave acrylic. And just have the ability to take off the panel maybe or something, just so I can get light in it. Or not. We'll see. There we go. The back panel in. Just kind of sitting there. Yeah, I'll just take it off for now. But yeah. It's coming together good. Yeah, red and black are good. Better. It's basically, I went with the opposite. So the main, like the Voron colors are black with red accent. And this is going the opposite way. Red with, well, everything else being black. ACM on top. Yeah, I'll probably do ACM on top. But it gives me options at least. Because honestly, the panels swap easily. So if I'm going to be printing, you know, if I'm trying to do video on something, I can just swap the panels out. Ooh, Solid State Nerd, thank you for becoming a member. I think my chat's lagging. Is my chat lagging? Everyone type 1 in chat right now, just to see if it's lagging. Oh, wow, that was a bit of a delay. Okay, chat is lagging a little bit. Come on, YouTube metrics. And while you're at it, make sure you guys all, you know, like that smash button. So there we go. That actually looks really good. I like that tool head. I got to clean it up a bit, though. I got a little bit of stragglers in terms of not quite clean filament run. There we go. Gotta make it look better. I gotta take pictures and put it on the social medias, right? Toast the like button. Come on, guys. Stop with the butter. That actually came out really good. I'm really happy with how this is looking. Like, this is actually legit. I'm super happy. Will they release the SKR Pro firmware for 1.8? I don't know. Like, I can share what I come up with for, like, here's another thing. Why does everyone call it firmware? It's running Marlin. Marlin is the firmware, and all it is just compiled with different parameters. That's not new firmware. That's just a different configuration. It's like Clipper. Clipper is the firmware, and then it's just all it is a .config file that you just have for each individual printer. So it's not like printer specific firmwares. It's just a configuration. So even like Marlin, it's just, you know, I see people always talking about like, ooh, TH3D's Clipper Marlin firmware. It's like, no, it's just Marlin compiled with different settings. It's not a different firmware. I don't get it. I don't know. But yes, you know, once I get this up and I get a config set up for it, I'll post a config to it on the GitHub. Or more likely, I will get somebody else to post it because I still don't know how GitHub works. The screws are a little tight. Just trying. Avocado. You avocado. I don't like avocados. No avocados here. Okay, come on, bad move. There we go. Oh, it's so easy to bind these up. I'm trying to drop it down all the way so I can see the frickin' Voron logo when I take a picture. This was easier on my V1.5 because I went with a belted Z, so you could just run the belt and they would both move. Voron has a GitHub? Yes, Voron has a GitHub. Go to vorondesign.com under help. You'll see GitHub. Even people... That's the thing. I'm kind of talking with Thangs about a potential alternative. I don't know. We'll see. Because I wish there was a better community site for something like 3D printer groups. Because GitHub is really for software. You can use GitHub for 3D things, obviously. Like a lot of 3D printers use it. But it is not newbie friendly. Like even on the Voron GitHub, the Voron mods, like trying to like go through and find like, oh, hey, I have a Voron. There's a mod section. I can't just search for the mod. I have to know what I'm looking for. So. Your first 3D print to be sold as an NFT. I do not get NFTs, okay? Like, all these cryptos, I don't know what, like you go on Reddit, right? I use like mobile Reddit, not the app, like just go to like i.reddit.com on my phone. And if you go by like new or not recent, is it recent? I don't know. Or rising. If you go by rising, all you see is like all these cryptos and people uploading all this stuff about cryptos. Like, okay, I kind of understand Bitcoin, okay? I understand Bitcoin as like, oh, it's the first thing, it's proof of content. But now it's like, there's all these other cryptos that are coming out of nowhere, and they're just, and now you got NFTs, which are a picture. You own the original of a picture, which is like a hashtag for the picture, which is just crypto with extra steps. So, don't get it. I think they're all pump and dump schemes that people are using to try and get rich quick, because it's like Dogecoin, right? I used to have 40,000 Dogecoin. If I still had it, I could have cashed out for like 20 grand, right? But it's like, you just pump out as many cryptos as possible. You try and get in them all early and have massive amounts of them. And you just kind of hope that one becomes big enough that you can cash out and retire. It makes no sense to me. Like, I don't get it at all, because nobody's using them for a real thing. Like, oh, yeah, some places take, you know, Ethereum or Bitcoin, but it's just exchanged to money. They're nothing but just whatever they're valued to money. They're not useful for anything other than, you know, they were used for the dark net, buying, you know, drugs on the internet for a while. But now it's pretty much just, oh, I invest in it. But usually when you're investing something, the product you're investing in kind of does something. You know, I invest in a company. The company does something that makes money. I invest in Bitcoin. I just hope that the value just jumps up randomly. You know, Elon Musk tweeted out a Dogecoin meme. I made 20 grand. Yay. I don't get it. USD is fiat money too. Well, I live in Canada, so I got monopoly money up here. But at least, you know, a country's money is tied to the value of the GDP or whatever of a country, right? Like, at least, you know, a US dollar is backed up by, you know, the US economy somehow. There's something there that make the money tangible. You know, we're not on the gold standard anymore, but at least there's something there. Like, if I were to open MS Paint and just write NFT with the little spray paint mouse thing, the spray paint icon, and write NFT and save that as a PNG, can I sell that for 20 grand? I don't know. Oh, I need to attach a URL to it or something. I don't know. Crypto is really a front for the NSA. Dude. Honestly, I think it's just pump and dump. I just think it's a simple pump and dump. It's ways people are using to make a crap ton of money real quick. Because by the time, like, you know, it's reported on MSNBC that, oh, this crypto has gone up, people have already cashed out their, you know, they've already purchased their share to, and then when, you know, you got guys sitting at home, I should buy Dogecoin. And by the time he's buying Dogecoin, it's too late, because somebody bought in at 0.003 cents a coin and just cashed out at 50 cents a coin. So I don't know. It's just ownership, but it's just ownership. I don't get it. I don't get it. I think they're all just get rich quick pump and dumps, but that's just me. Here, this wonderful model from Fangs, okay, in this exact color from Sunlu silk filament that I kind of like the colors, but it doesn't print the greatest. This is now 50,000 Dogecoin. Send me 50,000 Dogecoin. I'll send it to you. You can buy it. It's a NFT. It's an NFT. Sure, I get it. But if you want a real Doge of your own, go to Fangs. They have a Dogecoin by Chaos Cortec. Go print your own Doge. Much wow. Very layers. Okay. I don't know. Well, he's not marking me. Like, you're allowed to go and be like, oh, Doge to the moon, right? You're allowed to say that. But if he goes out and says, you should buy this, that's manipulation. But him going on Twitter and going, haha, Doge to the moon, that's not. Or on coin. Speaking of coin, I think I'm going to try and get some merchandise. I might try and turn that into something. So Nemgria, if you still have the art file for that, let me know. I think I'm going to try and actually get some merch going up. Because I do have some sayings and things that I can put on shirts. So I might do that. We'll see. You guys want me to keep doing videos, or do videos full time, I gotta kind of figure out how to, you know, make up for revenue. Toasty coin. Are the LDO Z motor for 1.8 with integrated lead screw the same spec with the bomb? I don't know if they're the same spec, but that's what I'm using right now is the LDO integrated lead screw for Z for the 1.8. And I know other people are using it. The motors work just fine. So I don't know if they have the exact spec as the bomb motors, but they're perfectly serviceable. I don't know if they're better or they're worse, but they work just fine. So they're fine. I want a hoodie. I've got a few ideas for some merchandise. The problem is I'm horrible at art, so I'm gonna have to hit up Fiverr. Because I am thinking I should do a channel rebrand, at least get some proper, like, I like the little Nero 3DP logo, although everyone says, you know, 3 Nero DP. But I think I'm going to try and hit up Fiverr or something, or try and get in touch with somebody to do some proper art for things. Because I think I am at that point where I should be somewhat professional in that regard. Instead of, you know, Jared did that. Jared on the Voron Discord. He did that for me. He did a really good job on that. I do like it. But I'd like some actual, like, a banner and whatnot. I don't have, like, a mini Joel equivalent. I don't know who I talked to that. Apparently a bunch of people have those. I don't know. We'll see. What are my plans for the Ender 3? I might have a new direct feed extruder coming for it that I might put on it. We'll see. We'll see. Don't mix out the outro and intro this time. Oh, yes, yes. I got to do the Toasty Boy outro and then the channel outro. Because it's like a sandwich, right? It's like an onion. It has layers. Chaos Cortex for the Mini Joel. Did they do the Mini Joel? I don't know. We'll see. I got to talk to somebody. I actually was looking at Chaos Cortex because I do feature a lot of their prints. And Chelsea is amazing with modeling. She did the, I love this print. The diamond hands, and this one I did on Tallboy with a 0.6 nozzle, and it came out clean. Like, this thing is clean. But she did that. And then she also did the Bernie mittens. Come on, focus. Focus. She did the sitting burning mittens. She did that in like 2 days or something. Like 3 days after the picture was taken, this was out there. So she does good work. So. Please say a small prayer for my ANET A8 printing a 0.1 direct feed mosquito cowling. 7 hours to go. 7 hours? Oh yeah, ANET's not fast. Put Clipper on that thing. Dude, I got an Ender 3 up to like 300 millimeters a second. Somebody did a 14-minute benchy on an Ender 3 with Clipper. Go. Fender body with the Nero. See, no, see, I got the apron. I think I got to incorporate the apron. You know, the apron is totally not an original idea. I pretty much stole it from Adam Savage because this is actually the exact same model of apron that he wore before he made his own. And I was like, I like that idea. It just, I figured I needed something. I don't know. So I went with the apron. I actually like it because it holds a lab mic and stuff in my pockets that I have in my pockets, and then I take them out of my pockets and put them on the desk, and then I forget to put them back in my pockets. So. ANET 8, bottlenet is cooling. Okay, here's another idea. For something I want to do. What do you guys consider the earliest commercial 3D printer that wasn't like some super janky thing, right? Like there's the MakerBot Cupcake, which was the wooden one. But what is the Model T of 3D printers? What is the Ford Model T of 3D printers? Because what I want to kind of try and do is get my hands on whatever you guys think that is and see how it actually compares to modern printers with putting Clipper on it. Like by taking basically something like a Model T and just seeing how it compares to modern printers when we try and hold it in the same standard, same regard. Ultimaker, Mendel i2 printer bot, Ultimaker first gen. I've seen a lot of Ultimaker. So what is the Ultimaker 1? Ulti Mark 1? Or... Oh, this guy. Yeah, the Ultimaker. It's a rep strap. Thermocouple. And it's wood. Rich mahogany. David would know. He was in the printers when they had dirt floors. Actually, I might... Yeah, David's... Yeah, Printed Solid sells Ultimakers. Maybe... Yeah, I think it's for all Ultimaker printers. S5, S5, S3, 2. Ultimaker original. Download the original manual. So my idea is to basically try and find and get my hands on something like this. Okay. Put a, if I could, keep the original controller board. If not, upgrade it to just a generic controller board, like a ramps even. Put clipper on it and just see how capable the actual machine itself still is. And then what we would need to get it to the point where it would be acceptable. Because like a lot of times, like these older first gen, they have horrible part cooling, right? But with a $2 fan off AliExpress and printing a duct and a mount, you can get decent part cooling, right? So yeah, hot ends too. Like a lot of these old printers had like weird hot ends. Now this is an LTT stream. I do drop stuff a lot. Like I can, you know, compare to Linus in that regard. I do drop stuff a lot, and I think we're roughly the same age. But yeah. Yeah, look at the hot end. It's a nozzle. You got a brass pipe and a block. Oh my god, that is. Look at that hot end assembly. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Look at that hot end assembly. What is this? Place linear bearings inside the extrusion tool head. Ugh, brass pipe. Rep Mendel. See, I don't want to go back that far because I think a Rep Mendel is not. I'm talking commercial, because something like this, I think this is like, you know, the original, like, you know, you had the 3-wheeled cars back in the day, and like where they hadn't quite figured out their groove. Yeah. Like, I think these would be a little too far back. Lulzbot, Hexagon, Euros, drop tips. J-head. I maintain that when it comes to the hot end, 90% of your hot end is your nozzle and your heat break. Everything else, you can fix with a good fan. And a good extruder. Look at that. Look at that. Look at, you can look at those look at that ghosting. Or you know what? That actually might be the teeth marks from the belt. Look at the belt. And then look at the yeah, those are tooth marks from the belt. Look. What's our belt pitch? 2 meters. Printerbot simple. It goes. I don't have my Monoprice Select Mini anymore though, unfortunately. It's kind of dead. And by dead I mean I ripped it apart. Like the what's left of my Monoprice Select Mini is in the bonsai. So honestly, MakerBot. We have a MakerBot Replicator X2 at work. I think it's like 5 or 6 years old. It is horrible. It sounds horrendous. You can like measure the amount of ghosting around holes in inches, and it's like many inches. It prints horribly. We use it at work for like printing like the punch-in clock boxes and like random stuff. They're horrible. And then I was watching Stowaway on Amazon Prime there. It's the movie Stowaway. Not a bad movie. Not quite a huge fan of the ending, but I kind of like, you know, I like hard space movies where it's kind of realistic. But there's like a scene in it where a character breaks her arm, and so they're printing a cast on it. Now, a future spaceship going to Mars, having a 3D printer on board, yes, that is actually a really smart thing to have. You can make stuff in an environment, right? A custom cast. Hey, that's great. What I don't believe is a MakerBot with what sounds like A4988s going in the future. Okay, that I don't believe. So yeah, that's just kind of an idea I got floating around. Obviously, I'm gonna have to, you know, get one. And considering I live in Canada, that kind of makes it a pain sometimes. But that's kind of thing. But that's like one of the things I'm trying to do more of. I'd like to be able to do more bigger projects on the channel. Because in case you guys don't know, it's like I don't really do anything big on the channel except for the streams. So I do like the big things like build full-on printers, but that's one day a week on a live stream because I don't have to edit this. One of the reasons I started doing the live streams was it's easier to just turn on the camera and just go for 3 hours, have a good time, and I don't got to edit anything. It's great. But I would like to do more longer form content. The problem is I just don't have the time. I try to do as much as I can in the time I have, but unfortunately that kind of ends up with a lot of shorter videos. So it is what it is. Let's put it this way. I'm not at the point of quitting my day job, which is my job. But with the amount of support you guys are giving me, and awesome sponsors like Thangs, which you should totally click the link below. Go to Thangs, download that model and print it for your mom or any other mother figure in your life. It's Mother's Day is next week in North America. I think the Brits got until like November or something like that. I'm at the point where I'm kind of running numbers about it. Maybe we'll see. Not anytime soon, but hopefully maybe we'll see. I'd have to stream more, but we'll see. Yeah, the original MakerBot, the guy who owns MakerBot or did to MakerBot what he did to MakerBot is now in charge of Bantam, which makes a $5,000 desktop CNC that I watched a breakdown of it, which it doesn't even have like $900 in hardware in it, but it costs $5,000. Thoughts on a rotary Delta? I'm not a huge fan of Deltas as is. I would love a little Delta just to have, but it's kind of like resin printers, right? I have a resin printer coming. I bought resin for it, right? I'm excited to play around with the resin printer. It is coming to me free from Banggood for testing evaluation and to do a video on. A Delta's like that to me. I would love a Delta, but I'm not going to go out of my way to buy one. Just because I can't justify it. I've got enough printers. Deltas or something I would like to have just to watch it because I think they're cool to watch, but I can't justify purchasing one on that regard alone. Got to get MPH to build a Voron. Joel, if you're watching this, I know you're sub to the channel. If you want to, hook me up with some MPH contact info, he knows how to build a Prusa now, so now I got to show him how to build a real printer. So, yo, at me, bro. Totally hip, totally with it. Exactly, Elite. Your name's too long. I'm just gonna call you EMW. So EMW, EM. You're now EM. Exactly. Like once the Stratos patents expired, it pretty much opened the door, and you saw a ton of rep wraps, and that's when you saw like you saw PrinterBot, MakerBot, Ultimaker. Prusa eventually came around. You saw like the founding companies kind of get their spots in, but now it's kind of solidified. You don't really see newcomers other than China. And when it comes to China, you have Creality, Anycubic to an extent, PQ, but V-Wheel i3 in different shapes and form factors. That's the majority of them are a V-Wheel i3. That's why I won't review any other one. I did my Ender 3 review. I have other ones coming. They're in shipping apparently. I don't know. We'll see. But I won't review them because it's a V-Wheel i3. They're all the same. This one has a slightly different fan. This one runs a slightly different firmware, has a different touchscreen, but it's a V-Wheel i3. They're 90% the same. So. If you like the resin, I might give you a good deal on a Mono X. I have not touched in a month. Dustin, I don't think I'm going to get into it that much. So the one I have coming is the Anycubic Mono, or Photon Mono 2K. So the smaller one. I already bought somebody on the Voron Discord had an extra wash station. I got that from them. That should be here this week too. I think like resin, I'm just going to do small things with it. I don't need a big resin printer. I don't even have room for the resin stuff. Like, you ready? This is what I have to work with, okay? So, I'm already at the point where I'm putting printers on the ground. My shelf is a window. And there's all the storage for all my stuff and the mess on the floor. And there's the CNC machine, and there's a closet. That is what I got to work with. So, I gotta find somewhere for Toasty Boy. There we go. Oh, every time I unlock the camera, I gotta redo it all. I've got Toasty Boy is probably gonna go there. The resin stuff's probably gonna go there. The Ender is probably gonna go, I don't even know. So, put Clipper on a DaVinci XYZ 3D with mechanics very similar to Charles. Oh yeah. Prusa's the only non-pop or non-China, and they kind of have their exact niche where they're good consumer level, almost prosumer because of the support they offer. I argue that Prusa's are great for schools because they got good reliability and they have decent support. So anytime somebody asks me about a cheap printer for work or school, I say Prusa. Anytime somebody asks if they should build a Voron for work, I tell them no, because you don't want to be responsible for taking care of that. Because the only support is the guy who built it. V-Wheel Core XY. French cleat them on the wall. If I had a CR30, if Naomi, if you want to send me a CR30, I have a spot on the wall here. I will put it on the wall. Yeah, I would love a CR30 to play around with, just to put Clipper on it and see how fast that thing could go with a 0.8 nozzle and a bigger hot end, and a better extruder. But that's again like resin printers and deltas. They're in the, oh, I would love to play with that, but I can't justify dropping the coin on it. So Naomi, if you're watching for whatever reason, I'm down. Prusament is good. To my knowledge, I don't think they're actually making the plastic in-house. They're just extruding it in-house to good standards and putting a fancy sticker on it with a QR code. Yes, it's good filament. I don't think it's the groundbreaking next evolution of filament that some people think it is. I print with bulky Sun ABS all day, and I've never had a single issue with it ever. So... like, good filament is good filament. Some companies are better than others. You know, I have KVP ABS. I like KVP ABS. It works good, but White Knight, I've looked at the White Knight too. But it's a belt printer, right? Like, I have zero practical need for a belt printer, right? I don't do cosplay. I don't run a shop where I can continuously roll stuff off the line. Yeah. Yeah, laser sintering at home is, ugh. You want to shop for that. Where's the Esun ABS in colors other than black, white? Their colors suck. I'll be the first to admit that. KVP has great colors for their ABSs, I'll say. Prusa seems to think that ASA is better than ABS. Not really. Good ABS is pretty much the same as good ASA, in my opinion. Would tolerance be that important with a good diameter sensor on a printer? I have never checked the diameter of any of my filaments ever, and it's never been an issue to me. I don't buy really cheap filaments. A lot of mine is random, but it's all usually good brands. But I've never checked the diameter of a filament ever. You know, was it Tom's 3D? He made the Infidel. It's like a filament sensor. Now, if you could tie that into Clipper and have it auto adjust the flow percentage as you go, maybe. But I don't think any filament will have, any good filament will have a variance big enough that you would need to adjust flow throughout a print, really. So, like we're talking like, usually it's like a fraction of a percent over good filament. It's like 0.02 millimeter diameter fluctuations at most. And it's usually not like an instant thing. It's like throughout the whole roll, it might be out a little bit, so. Sintering is hard to justify. Of course, yeah. It's like having a welder at home. Having a welder at home is awesome, but most people don't need to weld stuff often. Make your own filament. It's, in my opinion, like, put it this way. I work in a plastic injection manufacturer. I make plastic injection molds at a tool shop, okay? We have a tryout bay that has plastic. At one point, I pretty much had full access to as much resin as I wanted, okay? Plastic pellets. It's still not any point of me getting like an extruder at home, because you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to get good quality, and you'll never get consistent. You'll never get 100% reliability. It's just better to just buy spools, unless you're doing something where you're printing kilograms a day. So. MJF nylon. The LGX is MJF, I think. I think they use MJF on that. That'll hold up fine. But in terms of like the parts, no. Remember, Voron's designed with printed ABS in mind and works just fine with that. So going beyond that, going beyond works fine is, there's no, okay, it works even finer, even more fine. Like it's a motor mount. It can only mount the motor. It can mount the motor better with, if you go with and spend $300 on aluminum parts, but all it does is hold the motor in position. If it holds it fine in position in plastic, it'll hold it fine in position in metal. You might have even more issues. So, I've owned a welder for 40 years. Well, I'm not saying everyone, but I'm assuming, like, you know, Bob down the street who works at, you know, Costco, he might not need a welder. Not everyone needs a welder. What do I find myself printing the majority of the time? Printer parts. Printer parts, that's one of the things I'm liking with Thanks, is I'm printing a lot more random stuff that when you first start, you go on Thingiverse or whatever on any site, and the first thing I did was go on Thingiverse and search by most downloaded and print all that stuff. And now it's like, okay, I want interesting stuff, and now with, you know, Thangs and Chaos Cortec, they're like putting out all this interesting, you know, Ghostbusters. It just Stay Puffed. And Godzilla and whatnot. So I'm pushing myself to print more random things now. Get more hours on my printers. Lawyer cat. I am not a cat. I am a lawyer. That was done on the Switchwire dual extrusion. And then printer parts. Lots of printer parts. Our functional print, exactly. Notice how our functional print is nowhere near as big as our 3D printing with the, hey, look, I did the flavor of the month print again. Yes, learn CAD. I regret not picking up CAD sooner. Seriously, if you have a 3D printer, you should take the time and at least learn one of the CAD softwares. Even if you only ever figure out how to use Windows 3D Builder just to emboss stuff on, Windows 3D Builder is excellent if you just want to put text on stuff to customize stuff. It's great for that. So, but it's 11:30. I think I'm going to call it, because we went a little over like we usually do. But I do enjoy these parts of the streams where we just chat for a while. So I think I'm going to call it there. forgot there's little caps I gotta put in these. So I'm gonna call the stream there, guys. For anyone who donated tonight, you guys are totally awesome. When you donate, you support the things I do, the content I create. It all goes into the channel itself, really, and supporting everything you see here and supporting me. So you guys are totally awesome. Even those that don't donate, you're just watching the videos. You guys are all awesome as well. Everyone is awesome. You make this totally enjoyable. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. So hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I do want to give another shout out to the sponsor of the stream tonight, Thangs.com. If you're looking for 3D models, you want to share some 3D models, there's a great growing community on that site there. Built-in model viewers. If you want to design something and you want to upload an assembly file with all the components and you want nice fancy exploded views, you can do that on Thangs.com. Share things, like things, download things, all on Thangs. They don't actually have a thing. I just like saying that because it's fun to say Thangs that many times in a row. Yeah, just checking up on chat. Oh, I know, Loltech, I know. Thanks. It's fun to say thanks. My email, oh yeah, so if you want to send pictures of your super awesome printing setup or your super janky printing setup, it is, I gotta retype it out. It's that right there. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your weekend. It is Saturday night. Next week, hopefully I will have a resin printer to set up and get printing. And then while it's doing that, I'm going to install a wiring loom in this, or make a wiring loom. And then I'm going to try and maybe do a stream during the week where we start installing the spider, the Physec spider in V2.26. So that thing needs a whole new tool head and a new wire loom. So we'll be doing all that. Either this week or next week. So there's that. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you're subscribed. If you need to ring the bell, ring the bell. If you haven't yet, like that smash button. And what else? I don't know, generic, just watch some random YouTube video where somebody has a 30-second block where they say all the things you're supposed to do, because I don't want to repeat it all again. So take care, be safe out there, wash your hands, have a great night. And I got to do this manually because I don't have a hotkey for it. Peace.
And by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.